I love this unit. Demon Lord Rimuru debuted a few days ago in Grand Summoners, and lord, is this guy cracked out of his mind. This guy has everything from big damage to damage buffing capabilities and even a passive that is just way too good. So let's talk about it all and tell you how broken he truly is. Demon Lord Rimuru is a hybrid damage dealer with a kit that's completely focused around buffing up his damage along with his team's damage. You can see this most notably in his true art and super art, while his skill and art is more so on the selfish side. Doesn't mean this is a negative necessarily, just means he's a little bit more selfish. But look at these slots though. 5-star magic, 5-star support, and a 5-star heal. Yama P truly blessed my mans with this one. And since we're on the topic of equips, let's talk about some recommended equips. Let's knock out the true weapon. If you decide to pick this up, you'll be getting a pretty solid support item that has the unique passive giving Demon Lord Rimuru 1 arts per second plus a 70% attack buff. Is it really needed? Not necessarily. There's a lot of other items you can use in this slot, like any type of AoE arch gen, Malim's clothes, Goku uniform, you know the deal. Or even a single target arch gen item like Lesser Demon Heart or Rimuru's Sealed Mask. As for his magic slot, this can be easily filled with equips like Alma's Hat, Victor's Catsuit, True Exceed Zex, really just whatever item you want to put here that's giving you art gauge and maybe a little bit of a damage buff. The main thing is look for the arch gen for the magic slot. Or if you want a little something, if you're nuking with them, highly recommend using Beatrice's Crown if you have it. Then finally, the heal slot can be filled with either Fina Devil Wings, Demonic Wicked Globe, or Ultra Relic Empty Heart. Any of these three and you will be vibing, fam. For his crest slots, I would recommend going with an attack up crest, equipment CT, arts up, crit damage up, or even Promise of Funeral God. He has a lot of options here and you can really mix and match to whatever you want, but going with any of these crests will definitely benefit him greatly. Whew, you already know what time it is. He has the attack skill here, puts out the orb, shoots forward. We have the skill, like a combo attack. I really like how he rushes forward on this one. Seems very powerful with his just like 2 punches he does. With his art, this is where he goes up in the air and just does a huge like final explosion type deal. The true art, which I don't know if we're going to be able to see it from this angle. Okay, yeah, we're not. Actually, whenever you use this true art, you've ever seen the anime or read the light novel or whatever, it pops up like little slime clouds, I guess you would say, or like pools in the sky, and then it rains down like this effect. And you actually do get to see that if you're in game, but you don't see it right here in this screen for some reason. Then we have the super art, which is really quick, but I love how explosive it is. Like, look how fast this goes. Just boom, just, oh my goodness. Takes up the whole screen and it's so freaking powerful. It just looks like such a ridiculously strong attack. I love it so much. Just with one hand, just boom, blows up everything. 10 out of 10, man. And overall, I would say, like, with all of Demon Lord Rimuru's animations, I haven't really watched Slime like that. I've watched, like, I think maybe the first season and that was it. But I feel like they really encapsulated, like, Demon Lord Rimuru's power and just how strong this character is and just how effortlessly he just uses and abuses his power. And with that, I'm gonna say Demon Lord Rimuru is, like, if he's not a 10, man, he's like a 9.5 for me. He's really good. I love this character and love his animations. When it comes to team building for Demon Lord Rimuru, there's a few ways that you can actually take him. You can go with just him being the main focus of the team, utilizing characters that are going to buff him up, or going with probably one of the more popular options, which is using mainly a demon team with like Demon Lord Vox, Ainz, him, and probably Diablo. But as for me, I decided to use him with a team like this, using him alongside an Ainz and a Rin to really push out as much DPS as he possibly can, also throwing on the Haruto just to give the team healing and sustainability. And this little step here works insanely well, by the way, especially in the mines. If you're using him in sustained comps like this, I would recommend actually going in with the art whenever you can. The reason being is because whenever you do use the art, you will refund 150 art gauge back to yourself when you use your super art, so you're able to get back into it even quicker. Because of course, you're going to want to stack your super art as much as possible, since that does give every dark ally on your team, including himself, 120% damage buff. And that's pretty much it when it comes to using him in sustain. Go into the art, go into the super art, maybe use the true art whenever you want to, but for the most part, you don't really ever need it. Especially if you're using him alongside Rin. Rin already provides a damage res down. Granted, you could use this just to stack with it, but like, you don't really need to. Of course, if you're using the boy Demon Lord Rimuru and more so of a nuke team, you can easily get away with just using his super art and then calling it a day at that. Even with Demon Lord Rimuru doing all this type of stuff, I don't think he's necessarily the best unit in the game. I actually think he's pretty far from it. It's because of a few weaknesses in his gameplay / character design. One of the weaknesses that he has is that he's kind of slow in the beginning. Not to mention that he wants to use a lot of arts gen. Like, you want to use the art because you get the 100% crit buff, as we mentioned before, plus the art gauge refund whenever you use your super art. And you're probably going to want to try to keep that rotation going every time you use the super art, or maybe you don't. It's really up to you depending on how you want to play him. But either way, this guy's going to be using a lot of art gauge. Another one is that he's just a damage buffing attacker.
How could this be a negative OP when this is technically his biggest strength?
Now that one is pretty easy to answer. Since he's only providing a damage buff to the team and only buffing up team's damage and not providing any type of survivability or any type of supporting capabilities through arch, I see a lot of people maybe not utilizing him when push comes to shove. Because let's say for an example, you're using a demon team and you need more damage mitigation. Well, you take off the Demon Lord Rimuru and you throw on the Albedo to give you more damage res. Or let's say later on down the line, you realize you need more arch generation on the team. So you take off the Demon Lord Rimuru for a Dark Rosetta instead. So it's going to be hard to slot him in sometimes because he's just this DPS machine. And the final thing that is really just a me thing, I don't think it's necessarily a terrible thing on his part, but his true art takes forever to come out, which hurts his nuking potential when it comes to just utilizing the true art and not the super art. Most of us will be probably utilizing the super art because who doesn't want Demon Lord Rimuru to be the main nuker for them? Still, this is something you have to consider though if you're going to be utilizing this character in these situations. Even with all this being said, Demon Lord Rimuru is still one of the best units in the game, easily in the top 10 currently, and I have a feeling he's only going to get better when we get more and more dark units, especially dark demon characters coming to the game. But hey, you guys let me know what you all think about Demon Lord Rimuru down below in the comment section. Are you guys liking this character? Did you manage to get him? Do you think he's the next big thing in GS? Everybody's going to be using him. If you enjoyed this video, highly recommend check out either one of the other videos popping on the screen right now. Great content, guarantee you love them. Oh, and one more thing before you leave, don't forget to drink water.